you talk about in '85, right? Boston coming off a championship, a great one against LA. They win in 7, and they drop the ball. They lose Game 6 at home. You talk about Maxwell. You talk about his knee. They felt like a retool needed to happen. It did, and they brought in Bill Walton. And, it's prevalent in the Celtic City documentary just how big Walton was. But to you, in your perspective, what happened the following year when they added Walton that made him such a special piece for that team?
Oh, my, that was magic. I mean, Bill was only a year or two older than me, but he was just this mystical figure. Going back to his college days, he couldn't takes the throne from Kareem at UCLA and keeps this thing going 3 more years. And, they went like 88-1 or whatever it was. And, they're the 2 greatest college players. I guess Leitner can go in the argument, but it's just ridiculous. And then, he had that whole, the ponytail and the, vegetarian and harboring Patty Hearst from the FBI and, all these different things. He was a counterculture guy and smart. He was quiet. We didn't realize about the stutter, which was one of the things that made him quiet. And I didn't know he was such a sports fan and such a honk, reading everything and knowing and just his intellectual curiosity. So when they traded for him, it was great because you're bringing on this guy with all this, he's MVP of the league in 77, 78 and wins a championship in Portland. But he, could never stay healthy and stay on the floor. But when they acquired him, man, it was like, really? This is so great. And we didn't know he's going to get this parting gift of playing 80 games. He never played 80 games. And, able to be in a role where they didn't need him to play big minutes. 15 a night, give Chief a blow. That was the role. And it worked magically. And there was so much value with Larry and Bill with passing clinics we'd see on a nightly basis. Just Larry playing point forward and Bill flashing up from the low block and nodding and Larry doing the backdoor cuts. It was just that. Watch that stuff. It's ballet. So, yeah. And just the ball breaking and the practices and McHale and Ainge. And there was a lot. But as a writer, he was a gift. And the first night, teams in New Jersey and they lose. And, he had like 7 turnovers in about 20 minutes. It was underwhelming debut. And we go in, the old dump at Brendan Byrne Arena at Jersey. And, he lost the opener. He got, another 80 to go here. And Bill's like, I am a disgrace to the game of basketball. And he just launched into this annihilation of his own self here. And I'm like, whoa, this is going to be good. And Larry's like, shut up and have a beer. We got 81 and more to play. So, that stuff was. And then I remember being on the road. I was in like San Francisco and he sat down with me and had breakfast. He just wanted to know about baseball and the Red Sox and Fenway and just Boston history. And he had athletes aren't like that. He lived in Cambridge. You can go back in time. I defy you to find another athlete who lived in Cambridge. I think Kareem did when he was studying one summer. He was not playing locally, obviously, but just doesn't exist. You're not going to find Manny Ramirez living in Cambridge. So it was that alone. Big house and all the 4 little boys, and his wife was really cool, and everything about him was super cool. And that was devastating last year. I was in Italy, and it just ruined the trip, and I had to write right away. Don't write on vacation that often, but that was important. And I just texted him a few days earlier, so that one still hurts. But yeah, he was the greatest.